Do you want to know how to get kids to accept no answers? Well, that is what I have been teaching for over 2 decades now. I'm Nicholeen Peck. I teach everything related to parenting, family communication, relationship building, and we learn it all through the lens of self-government. In this video, let's talk about no answers. Accepting no answers is one of the power skills. Honestly, the greatest people in the world, the people that are the most patient, that have the most influence, are usually the people who know how to accept no answers. In this video, we're going to be talking about what it looks like to accept a no answer, how to teach it to your children, and what benefits they get from that. There are 4 steps to the skill accepting a no answer. This is the shortest one of the 4 basic skills that I teach. So what are the 4 basic skills? Well, in the Teaching Self-Government Parenting course, I teach 4 basic skills that take care of 99% of your behavioral problems. Now, this means for adults as well as children. These are life skills, they're principles, which means they are broadly applicable. The 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. In this video, we're discussing accepting no answers and criticism. To accept criticism, you use the exact same steps as you do for accepting no answers. What are those steps? Step number 1, look at the person. Because you need to create a connection with the person that you are communicating with. Or maybe it's a situation that gives you a no answer. Maybe somebody cuts you off in traffic. You can't really look at the person, so you're going to look at the situation that just occurred. So look at the person or the situation. Step number 2, keep a calm face, voice, and body. Do you know what it looks like and feels like to actually be the calm version of yourself? You got to hone in on that. Practice it. Practice the calm voice tone, especially if you have a tendency to not use one. Do you see how this is broadly applicable? So they need to know what is calm, what is not calm, and they need to practice it. Step number 3 is say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, which means if somebody cuts me off in traffic, then I say, well, okay, that happened. There really isn't much of a way to disagree appropriately with that person, and I promise you, sticking your hand out the window or honking on the horn real loud doesn't necessarily constitute disagreeing appropriately. Step number 4 is probably the most difficult step, and this is because it really does require a lot of deliberate thought. You have to use the power inside. Step number 4 is to drop the subject. So this means maybe you wanted to go to that party. Maybe you're running late somewhere. You've got the stress level building up and that person cuts you off in traffic. Then what you need to do, if they do cut you off, is you keep calm. You say, okay, it happened, and then you let it go. You drop the subject. You push it away so that no longer are you spending your time thinking about it. Just that step alone decreases people's stress so much. It makes a huge difference. I would like to show you what some of this training might look like for a child and actually do a role play with you. But before I do, hit the subscribe button. Do you know when you hit that subscribe button, more people get to see these great videos? People ask me all the time in the comments, Nicholeen, how come your videos don't have more views? This is amazing stuff. Well, help me out, okay? Hit the subscribe button, and that notification bell will also make it so that you don't miss any of the movies that are coming out. This whole skill of accepting a no answer or accepting criticism really does create emotionally strong people. When people are emotionally strong, they can drop the subject. They can let something go and they can move on. So how are you going to teach your children how to do that? It seems like, how do you get into somebody else's head and make them drop the subject? Well, you can't. You have to teach the skill ahead of time. You have to practice it. And then in the moment, you will pre-teach them and prompt them for when to use this skill when it's real time. There are many things in life that are no answers. So when I'm going to be teaching this skill to my children, I'm going to show them a lot of the different experiences that might actually be a no answer that they have not thought of. In fact, there's a great book that teaches this, and it's called Porter Earns a Quarter. Porter Earns a Quarter is a book that I wrote that was specifically intended to show different experiences where a person might get a no answer and how to accept a no answer. So I would read Porter Earns a Quarter to my children. We might act it out, but we're going to discuss the different circumstances that happen in the book. So in that book, Porter actually gets the middle seat in the car. Other people get window seats. Well, that middle seat is not what he wanted. That means it was a no answer. Also, Porter wants a cookie. Mom says no. Now that's a pretty obvious no answer. But Porter's playing soccer one day too. And you know what? Porter gets knocked down and the ball gets taken away. That's a no answer. Porter didn't want that to happen. He wanted to take the ball down to the goal and score it, right? Also, Porter didn't get what he wanted for breakfast one day. He didn't like that. No answer. Porter can't find his sock when he's getting ready for his game. No answer. Do you see how many things that there might be in life that are no answers? Someone doesn't have to tell you no for it to be a no answer. Any boundary line that you might cross is also a no answer. So, touching someone who doesn't want to be touched. No answer. Or basically, you would not be accepting a no answer if you touch them, right? If a person does not adhere to those boundaries, then essentially, they're not accepting a no answer. So you see how many circumstances you actually could apply this one skill to. It's a lot. Let's do a little role play, me and you. Teaching children through role play is really valuable. So after reading Porter Earns a Quarter, talking about all the different no answers, then you're going to talk about the steps. You'll teach those 4 steps to your child, and then you'll want to role play practice. So a role play might be something like this. Okay, you ask me a question, I will say no, and then you say okay or disagree appropriately, which is another skill you need to teach. And by the way, there's a whole other video on that, so be sure to find that. And then you drop the subject. So then they ask you a question. Maybe the question is something like, Mom, can I go out and play? And then I would say to them, no, you can't go out and play because we're going to be having dinner. And then they say, okay, and then drop the subject. Then I praise them after that. Super simple. That's all it is, just simple communication. But if you're wise, you will pre-teach your children so that they are more successful at this skill. Pre-teaching looks like saying to the child, right now I'm going to give you a no answer. Remember how to accept a no answer, and then remind them of those 4 skills, and then say, no, you can't go outside. This will decrease their anxiety and help them succeed more as they're utilizing this skill. Accepting no answers and criticisms truly is a power skill. It increases confidence so much in you and your children. Now that you know this skill, you'll probably find instances everywhere throughout your daily life where, oh, that's a no answer. That's a no answer. Ooh, I better drop the subject. Keep working on those 4 steps to that skill and your life will actually never be the same. If you've enjoyed learning about this skill, I would absolutely love to share with you a video that talks about all of the 4 basic skills and more. In fact, in this particular video, we get to hear from a family and see some of their experiences with the 4 basic skills, which is super helpful too. The name of that video is 4 Skills to Transform Your Parenting. Click on that video now and I'll see you there.